Hi guys, in this video we're going to be making some plank bases.
Gruffy Crow.
Okay, so I wanted some bases for some Burrows and Badgers pirates, and I want to do planks. So first thing, I am covering the slots in tape. Not vital for this type of base, but just a nice starting point, I think. I'm just cutting around and removing the excess tape. So we're going to have a whole bunch of bases with their slots covered up. Second ingredient is these coffee stirrers. I buy these in a massive bulk. You can normally find them at sort of coffee shops and sort of burger stands and stuff. So they're quite useful. Need a handful of those. I've also got some other bits and pieces like some plastic card and big stick. We've got cocktail sticks and matchsticks, just any of the little wooden bits I grabbed out of my box that I might make some use of in this. The general idea being that I'm going to try and sort of replicate sort of areas on a boat. Got a few tools for this job. We've got some files, probably dig out my emery boards as well potentially. We've got a knife, going to come in handy, and probably one of the most important things for this is some dead old snips. So I use these for chewing through metal and just anything else bad, not my good plastic snips. I've also got this scribing tool, it's also seen better days, but nice sharp points, nice sturdy thing, sort of a compass point or something like that would do, just anything sharp and pointy. So to make the bases, we're going to start by taking the rounded edge off. I'm going to make this one go all the way across, I think. So I'm going to mark just sort of roughly the curve of the base on the edge of there. I'm going to see where I like the look of that, and we're going to mark the opposite side as well. In theory, this plank should now fit from one side of the base to the other. First plank's always the easiest. For glue, we're just going to be using standard super glue. You get this off eBay, it's just like an industrial super glue. You could probably get away with like a good wood glue, but the extra stress probably not really worth it. Okay, next one, and I'm going to lay that. I'm going to pick a line on the base, so that's currently going to be about there. I'm going to lay it to that line, and I'm going to draw in my edge part. Dug out an emery board, refine that a little bit, and that should sit in that corner and against that line that we want. Then to complete the other side of that, I'm going to hold this. I'm going to leave like, just a fraction of a mil gap, just enough that you can there is a gap, but not really much of one there. I'm going to draw the line we want in. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting that to fit neatly, so I'm just going to glue down the end I want, and then I'm just going to use this knife, just cut off any excess on this end. So I'm going to repeat that over. So the next one is going to be a full one again. So I'm just going to mark in both the sides again. And then we'll do a half one over here and a full one and a half one. Something a bit like that. So we have that line going through and all the planks in. I've now got my scribing tool. I'm going to just draw some lines in along the grain on all the planks. I might even get as adventurous as drawing like a little knot in. Mostly we're just trying to open up the natural grain of the wood a little bit, add some additional texture. And then I'm going to go for plank nails in the edges like that. Just pressing in. And that's my first one done. Been a little bit since I did these, so I'm a little bit out of practice. So I'll finish these up and I'll show you some variations that I'm going to try on it. So I'm trying something a bit different with this one. So we've got the planks going that way, like the others. But I've built this sort of little semicircle out of this 1mm plastic card, which welds together quite nicely with a bit of plastic glue. I've filed all that round. And when we're done, we'll paint all this black to represent the negative space. So then the top of it, I'm also going to add the sticks. This will be a bit easier. I can be a bit less neat, and then I can tidy them up afterwards. So yeah, cut the front off, and we can use the emery board to neaten that. This wider section is just a bit of sort of lollipop stick. Got a few of those kicking around as well. I'm going to keep using the snips. I'm going to go around the outside. So the joy of the super glue is that obviously this, I only put this down a few seconds ago, but it's already dry enough that I can start working on it like this. And then smooth those jagged lines off. So my art is going to stand up the front here somewhere. I kind of like the idea of having a strip like that. Oh, but I could probably just overlap it a little bit. So I think I'm going to add a matchstick to the front here. And then I'm adding that bit as a trim. I'm just going to add some sort of nail holes across the front. Okay, so that's all the bases done. I've got a few spares. One of which I'm going to paint up now, and I've got this partially painted figure who I'm going to strip off his base and put on one of these. But I'm just going to have a go at painting one of these as a sort of test. And let's have a look at some of the variations. So we finished that one off, and we added some extra matchsticks and stuff as more decoration. And we added a little bit of wood filler just to neaten up any gaps. So that's one smooth circle around the back there. We've got one where the planks go that way, and then they go that way with a sort of joining strip. I've got a few more basic ones, and then a similar one, just a strip laid over the sort of vertical planks. Here's another example of the same technique used, this time just on one of my MDF flat bases. It's actually a lot easier on these because you can make all the sticks overlap as much as you like, and then just trim around the edge with the snips, and then take a bit of sandpaper or a file and then just neaten up that edge so that it's perfect. You've got quite a nice flat base with whatever planks you want, which is the sort of thing I'll use for terrain and NPCs like this guy. And this is an example of what they might look like painted. Not the neatest job, but one of the final models it might be a bit better.
And here's what they could look like finished. So that's the NPC again, on just straight onto the MDF. Nice neat little base. And a couple of the sort of 30mm bases of the variant types that we did. This one more standard for this dancing mouse girl. And then finally for my captain, said we've done the back black to sort of represent the sort of void under the planks. And I think that's come out quite nicely. I think you can get plenty of variation on this type of base to do a whole sort of band without it sort of looking too repetitive. You can always add things like I've added this rope for sort of more variation easily enough if you want to sort of spice these up a little bit. And obviously it's not just sort of pirates you could use this for. I'm also going to use this on the sort of anything that's going to go in like a bar scene as well. So I'm really happy with the way these have come out. And I'll be continuing to use this technique for the rest of my B&B Warband.
And that's all for this video. Please let me know what you thought down in the comments. Maybe subscribe for more. And as ever, thanks for watching. Bye.